for your attention. I'm going to switch to English now. So, in our 15-year history, GenSoft's has become a leader among Bulgarian software companies. Over the years, we've been solely focused on the PC as a central managing hub for controlling your business. And this strategy has proven to be wildly successful. The products from the MoneyWorks brand are used in over 9,000 companies all over the world. And our latest product, the Visual ERP system, is deployed in the offices of Europe's largest manufacturer of writing gowns. When the internet changed the way you do business, it only changed the way you do it, but the devices remain the same, the good old PCs. Today, however, we're on the verge of yet another paradigm shift, what Apple likes to call the post-PC era. A couple of years ago, things were simpler. Companies would buy 2,000 BlackBerries, handed out employees, and they had no choice but to use them. Today, however, Green's future is open and certain. And more corporations are embracing the bring-your-own-device philosophy, which leaves IT departments with a hard choice. Which platform offers the best balance between corporate and consumer happiness? Well, as you probably guessed by my emails today, we firmly believe this is the Windows Phone. We're very confident that IT departments all over the world will simply love Microsoft's new system. And here are the reasons why. First, it's uniformity. When they started working on Windows Phone, Microsoft embraced a policy of strict standards regarding the hardware it's going to run on. It is very straightforward that supporting a number of different hardware platforms costs both time and money for the developers. And how much money would you ask? Well, using developer data, we've compared the cost of support of Windows Phone, iOS, and Android application. As you can see, the Android application is roughly twice as expensive to support as its Windows Phone counterpart. And the reason for that is simple. Android devices come with many different flavors of displays and screen resolutions, ranging all the way from quarter VGA all the way up to full HD screen resolutions, while Windows Phone only supports one screen resolution, making it much easier for us to design our applications. It's not only the screen resolution though. Knowing how your application will look is very important. Knowing how it's going to run is just as important. And again, Android devices come with tens of different combinations of CPUs and GPUs, which make it nearly impossible for a developer to test how fast and if at all an application will run on every single device. By comparison, Microsoft set up a very narrow list of supported hardware, which allows us to safely assume that the way our app runs on one or two devices is representative for the way it's going to run on every device out there. And another aspect of uniformity is the operating system itself. Again, according to developer data, roughly 95% of Windows Phone devices are running the latest version of Microsoft's operating system. Compare that to 80% for iOS devices and only 2% for Android devices running Google's Honeycomb. Fast and reliable updates are very important for developers because every new version provides us with new tools to build even greater software. And they are very important for users and corporations as well because they come with a bunch of security fixes that are used to protect sensitive data. And now you're probably left with the impression that basically every Windows Phone device is the same. Well, this is not the case, and this brings me to my next point, which is diversity. Choice is an important factor for everyone. Being able to go with very high-end, expensive devices for key managers, while having the option to buy cheaper, lower-end ones for regular employees is important for companies. And being able to choose the screen size, the camera quality, or audio quality is important for users as well. In that aspect, Microsoft has chosen to take the middle ground between iOS, the title-controlled iOS with their one flavor fits all philosophy and the completely uncontrolled do whatever you want open ecosystem of Android. This allows for Windows Phone devices to be very, very balanced, offering great choices for consumers, while the insides of the phone are very predictable and reliable, easing us developers. Well, mentioning reliability, we inevitably have to consider a hugely important topic, and that is security. Microsoft has gone at great lengths to provide us with a platform that is reliable. This is in stark contrast with Google, who have decided to embrace an open policy regarding their marketplace, leaving it vulnerable for malware. This can be seen on the latest reports by Kaspersky, showing that Android accounts for roughly 50% of all mobile malware threats, whereas Windows Phone safely resides in the other category, with a combined share of 0.4%. The controlled approach chosen by Microsoft guarantees that the marketplace is a safe source of application, and the restrictions imposed on side-loading applications make it the only choice available for users. This makes us developers confident that users cannot accidentally compromise corporate data. Security is not only an issue for big corporations, however. For every developer, it is important to know that our efforts will be rewarded. Throughout the years, we have invested vast amounts of money and time into developing protective mechanisms for our software. Unfortunately, ill-intentioned individuals and companies have invested equal amount of time and energy into circumventing those protections. And it seems this cat-and-mouse game is going to be on forever. Until now. Microsoft are making it near impossible for non-tech-savvy users to manipulate their devices into allowing side-loading of illegal applications. This goes a long way to ensuring developer confidence and to supporting the system. Knowing that what you do is going to be worth your while is a huge factor when weighing the pros and cons of jumping to a new platform like Windows Phone. Well, the last aspect I want to focus on tonight is probably the most important one for a lot of developers, and this is the programming language used to write applications on. Well, some of you might know, but for Windows Phone, this is C#. For a developer learning a new language, it is comparable to a translator learning a spoken language. It's not impossible, and sometimes it's useful, but generally, we try to avoid it. Well, this is an area in which Windows Phone has huge advantage. The language that it understands is known to some extent by the majority of developers who have ever interacted with Windows in the past decade or so. When comparing the three dominant platforms, Windows Phone seems to be the easiest to start writing applications on. One of the reasons being the easy to start and familiar language, and the other, the great developer tools provided by Microsoft. Visual Studio is by far the most advanced development environment on the market today. Coupled with the fact that there are no specific hardware requirements concerning the developer's computer, Microsoft offers a platform that is really, really easy and cheap to get onto. To give you an idea how easy it is to start developing for the Windows Phone, I will show you our first application that we wrote for Microsoft's competition and that won Microsoft's competition. What is notable here is that we had no experience whatsoever writing for the Windows Phone platform. We did, however, have experience writing web applications with Silverlight, and we were able to easily transfer the know-how obtained by writing the Visual system towards our new project. The app you're about to see was developed by two guys working in their spare time in just a matter of a couple of weeks. Well, as you can see, it's quite a simple app designed to help new Bulgarian drivers to be prepared for their driving exam. What's important to note is how sleek the user interface is. It has beautiful animations and very fast loading times. And it looks really, really polished. And all this required almost zero development involvement. As you can see, beautiful animations. And it allowed us to focus on the functionality of the application itself, not on fighting the UI. So this is our first application, Monsters, and you can check it out after the presentation. So fast start is one advantage. Another is scale. Both iOS and Android marketplaces have roughly 600,000 applications as of today. And this is a huge number. Just imagine, 600,000. This makes discoverability a major issue with those systems. It makes it an issue that prevents quality applications from reaching the general public without massive advertisement campaigns. Compare that to Windows Phone with only 80,000 applications. Some would say that this is compensated by the fact that Windows Phone has much smaller market share. While this is true, releasing a quality app on the marketplace makes it visible immediately for every Windows Phone user, whereas releasing a quality app on the Android or iOS marketplaces make it visible for no one, because those marketplaces are already oversaturated by quality apps. Windows Phone offers current startups, something that Android and iOS can no longer offer: the ability to be the first. Would Nimbus or IM Plus, two great applications for the iOS ecosystem, be that successful if they were released a couple of months ago? It's highly unlikely. What made them popular was the fact that they were the first to offer key functionality for a system that competition is virtually non-existent. And a lot of big developers are dismissing it as unnecessary expense, which leaves breathing space for smaller developers to start releasing great applications. And I hope you can see now why we believe Windows Phone has enormous potential. Developers, the moment to take the advantage of that is not when it has 40 or 50% market share, and it's not when it has 500,000 apps on the marketplace. It is today. Being innovative is all about seeing trends and predicting events. If you wait for the next big thing to happen, you're already too late. You have to be the next big thing. Thank you.